Okay, let's get started with a little short practice at home practice. Here we have Kaylee today, and you can just follow along. So, at home practice, remember, get off the couch, onto the ground, put your lipstick on. You can do practice in your pajamas. Okay, so I often start and offer all my classes, as some of you may know, begin onto the ground because it's one of the best way to ground ourselves. So simply lie down onto the ground. And for this particular practice, if you have a block handy, remember it could be a foam block, a wooden block, or you could even use a little firm pillow from your living room. Okay. So let's begin with knees bent and feet onto the ground. And relax your arm bones wherever they want to be. Arms away from the body, arms closer to the body. So Kaylee, take a moment to just notice wherever your hands want to be. And you can simply be here. One of the best way to ground the nervous system is to simply lie down onto the ground. Now this practice, this is just one posture using the block, and it could be a practice on its own. This is a restorative bridge. I want to work on holding it for 3 to 5 minutes. If you have more time, you may hold it for up to 10 minutes. Whenever you're ready to come into it, bring your feet closer to your bum. Open up the feet apart so they're almost as wide as your hips. And just feel the heels into the foundations of the building. Press the feet into the ground and neutral pelvis. Take your pelvis, just simply take the pelvis up towards the ceiling and put the block under your pelvis. Perfect. So you want to make sure that it's not under the curve of your lower back, a little bit lower. Wonderful. So it's going to open up the front of the pelvis and the belly. Remember, we are a seat culture. We have chairs, couches everywhere. So this is literally opposite, opening up the front of the pelvis. Whether you cycle, whether you run, actually on the street, treadmill, or some of us run in the head. This is the posture that opens up our belly. How often are we allowed to open up our belly? And you will notice, even if you're running in the mind, just simply coming into this posture and allowing the abdomen to open up, the breath will start to change itself. It's a great release for our deep, intelligent muscle, psoas. It is a deep skeletal muscle, hence it's quite difficult to stretch. And then if you're holding on to anxiety, fear, uncertainties, this muscle, the tightness of this muscle affects our breathing. Even before we even have a thought. If you even come across a person who's anxious, this muscle start to react and tighten and contract. It even holds on to the he said, she said at the office, triggering our flight and fight response. Simply coming into this posture anytime during the day. We are working on releasing these emotions. Right? Now let's slow down your breath. And remember, the best way to do it is to simply observe the breath. You may hold this for another few minutes. Whenever you're ready to come out, you're going to simply lift the bum up off your block and just put the block aside. And then lower the pelvis and notice what you notice. Some of us like to drop the knee side to side. Some of us like to simply hug one knee into the body and then the other knee into the body. Now let's move into a short kneeling practice. So take your time to find the ground and come into, if all feels healthy in your knees, find a child's pose, which is sitting onto the shin bones. Okay. So child's pose, it's a short practice here. It's a kneeling practice to actively open and stretch this deep hip flexor, psoas, front of the pelvis, opening up the front body. So you make, if all feels healthy in your knees, you're going to open up the knees apart, sit onto the shin bones, and just take the hips back and bring in the torso forward. And you may rest on your forearms or all the way down. Kili is quite flexible, so you can go all the way down. Let's not force the head to go down. It's okay. Remember, the hips need to go back. So you may even prop yourself up onto your forearms. So lift yourself back up and pull your elbows back. Wonderful. So notice we want to take the hips back. The release is in the lower back. It's such a familiar, so it's a flexion of the spine in the hips. It's so familiar, and it takes the pressure off and stretches the lower back. You may rest here. Of course, you can put a cushion under your head, block under your head, or you may simply lie down towards the floor and take few breaths here. Remember, learning to slow down our breath. It's an ancient technique. It's technology. It's to calm the nervous system, to heal the body, to focus the mind. It is the simplicity of the practice which makes it so profound. It's so simple that we want to add things to it. It's so simple that we don't even want to do it. You are always breathing. Ground your mind in the rhythm of your breath. You may stay here for 1 to 2 minutes. Or add a little more dynamic practice. Take your time coming forward into table. Bringing the knees closer together, they don't have to touch. And as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, tucking the chin in. Okay. Just softly, don't have to exaggerate the stretch. Breathing in, dropping the chest, bending your elbows slightly so the chest opens up. Collarbones relax and widen. Exhale, rounding. Focusing on the lower back Chin, keeping the softness. Breathing in, opening up the chest. A wonderful teacher, Cynthia Funk, she often says, smile from your collarbones. Opening up the chest, widening the collarbones. Smile from the collarbones. And pull the abdomen in. If you want a little bit more release in the lower back, really pull the abdomen in. And then inhale 2 more times. Another wonderful, and exhale round. A wonderful friend and a teacher, her name is Georgia Mimakis. And she says, suck your abdomen in like a Dyson. And next time, just simply find your table. Just relax. You're going to take your right leg back, curl the right toes under, and just give it a quick stretch in your right calf. Feel the right foot. So good for our nervous system, for our brain when we connect with our feet. Let the ball joint of the foot feel the mat, the floor, the carpet, wherever you are. And you're going to bring that right foot forward towards the front edges of the mat. Take your time. It doesn't end up all the way. Help it to come forward. And send that back knee a little further back. So you're going into this low lunge, dropping the pelvis. Okay, I call it a sort of like a curling, like you're going bowling, curling lunge. Now, if you feel this in the back knee, you can put a cushion under your back knee, a little towel under the back knee, and then you can come onto your fingertips, opening up the chest. You can stay here. See how that feels. If you want to go a little bit more active, lift the chest up, open up from the center of the heart, and put your hands onto the front right thigh. If you feel wobbly, let's keep our eyes open and focus on one spot. If you want a little bit more of a muscular stretch, you can squeeze that left buttock and you feel a little bit more of an active stretch in the hip flexors. Now notice the quality of the breath and breathe into the upper abdomen. If you want to open up a little bit more into the upper back, you can open up the arm bones wide like soft wings. Spread your fingers, soften the elbows. According to Tantra, where we borrow our chakra system from, the energy of the heart, there's energetic centers in the center of the palms. So the heart chakras are connected to the heart chakras. It is our ability to give and receive. Receive love and compassion and give this love and compassion. Exhale, bring the palms to our own heart. Right? We receive, we take in compassion to ourselves first. Inhale, opening, expanding the heart. Then it flows from the heart unconditionally. Exhale. One more time. And then gently come back down to the ground. And take yourself any which way, help your front leg to go back into the child's pose. Now, because we went onto the knees, some of us I recommend that you shift the weight forward and lie down onto the tummy. Okay. So it gives our back of knees a break. If you practice this inverted shape, okay, that's one option. Simple belly lying down fosters the sense of security. Right? Because only when we feel safe, now we'll go in this posture. We cannot trigger our brain this security that I am safe enough. Now we'll repeat the same sequence on the left. Take your time, bringing yourself up into table. And stepping the other left leg forward. So give it a quick stretch on the left side first. Just to feel the energy of the foot. Stretching the sole of the foot, calf. And stretching the calf takes the pressure off our knees, right? And now stepping the left foot forward. Take your time, setting up and really grounding with the heel. Never rushing. Remember, yoga is deliberately slow. Send that back knee further back. Remember, you can do this on a carpet. Use a blanket under the back knee. Staying here is perfectly fine. Coming up onto your front leg. Okay, you get a little bit more of a lift, depending what's happening in the body and what are your needs today. Just because I'm offering this option doesn't mean you have to take it. If you're adding the arms, see if this serves you, if it feels nutritious and wholesome. Exhale to the heart, seat of love and compassion. Inhale, it flows. Remember, mindfulness generates, exhale, hands to the heart, the energy of compassion. Mindful breathing, that's again from Thich Nhat Hanh. He says, mindfulness generates the energy of love and compassion, which heals and transforms. Take your time. Feel free to linger. Feel the body. And take your time exiting this posture just as mindfully and carefully. And this time, remember, you can go back to lie down onto the abdomen, or another option is to take the hips back and lift the bum up and go up into this inverted shape downward dog. So I like to call it, we also know this in North India as mountain posture. So really open up the feet wide. It's also in Tantra called a triangle posture actually. Right? But I like this word mountain, the posture mountain. Really base, so really widen the hands and the feet. The bigger the base, the higher the peak will be. So very stable. Okay. We learn from the nature. Of course, it's not recommended if something's going on in the shoulder, any tingling in the hands, some neck stuff. Not worth it. Just simply lie down. Okay. From here, coming back onto the knees and finishing it off. Remember, you can add a little pigeon posture. Well, I will ask Haley to quickly show 90-degree pigeon, which is bringing the right knee forward, behind the right knee, or behind the right wrist, and bringing the foot all the way forward to the left wrist, and just sitting onto the right thigh. I mean, she is quite privileged and quite flexible. You can simply sit to the right and bring the back knee a little bit closer beside you, okay, inside of the knee, and just simply sitting and bringing the shin bone a little bit forward, right shin bone. Perfect. And opening up the chest, breathing into the abdomen. Okay. Wonderful posture to release the tension from the outer hip. You may hold this for 1 minute, minimum 1 minute. Okay. If you really want to be want to take care of yourself, hold it for 2 minutes to 3 minutes. It's like sending a wonderful Hallmark card to yourself. To come out from this posture, just simply tip to the right, sweep your back leg around. You can go back and switch and then do the 90-degree pigeon, or if you like the other pigeon, and coming into it. You can stay, right? Making sure that it doesn't bother your knee. Putting a little prop under their hip works. Staying upright for more of an opening in the upper abdomen, psoas area. Okay. Coming forward will stretch a little bit in the outer hip. You can do 1 minute up, 1 minute down, or 1 minute down, 1 minute up. Remember, it is the mindful breathing that will stretch your tissue. I have another teacher from South India, a wonderful teacher, Dr. NC, we call him, yoga therapist and an actual doctor. And he says, body is a shadow of the breath. So simple and so profound. So whatever posture you choose to take, remember, choose to pay attention to breath. Body is a shadow of your breath. Now, to come out, take your time. Remember, if you need to linger, linger a bit more. Otherwise, to finish it off, you're going to simply sit to one side, sweep your back leg around, and come into a cross-legged position or any seated position. You can do this on a chair. You can sit onto the ground. You can sit onto your cushion or a block. And just take a casual twist over to one side. Take your one hand back, one hand front, and simply twisting. Lifting from the heart. That balances the shoulder girdle, releases the spine. And to the other side in your own time. And then you come back to center. Maybe take both hands up or out. Give yourself a quick stretch to lengthen the side body, and then releasing your hands beside you or onto your thighs. Little movement allows us to release the body tissue, and then we can just sit. And here you can take just 5 minutes, 3 minutes to simply observe your breath. Remember, you can always go back and lie down onto the ground. Bend your elbows, relax your shoulders, pull your elbows closer to the body. And simply begin here by setting an intention to be. I want to guide you through with just 6 breaths. Remember, that's all it takes to focus the mind. Once you're in a comfortable position, observe your natural breath. However you're breathing, it is perfection. It is intelligence. Count backwards each exhale from 6. Exhaling, I am breathing out 6. I am breathing in. Exhaling, I'm breathing out 5. If you forget, you must go back to 6. So just learning to focus the mind at one point, that is our breath. Whether you reached 1 or you forgot, it doesn't really matter. Exhale here. Ever so gently hug the lower abdomen. Then begin to inhale slowly from the nose. Feeling the breath in your throat, in your lungs, they expand like balloons. Healthy, vibrant pink balloons. Abdomen rises. Pause at the top of the inhale. Look at your balloon in front of your eyes. Exhale, empty. Even deflation of your balloon. Out through the nose. Breathing in. Pausing at the top for 1, 2. Breathing out. This time, once you empty, pause here for 2 seconds. Then inhale. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Exhaling. In the emptiness, let the mind rest. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. Inhaling. Pause. 4. Exhale. Stay with me, stay with the breath. Pause here in the emptiness. Stillness, nothing moves. Inhale, feel the wave of the breath, filling you from head to toe. Pause, keep this energy in your body. Exhale, I empty. Clearing the body and the mind. And in the emptiness, pause. 2 more times with your own breath. Inhaling. Pause. Exhaling. Pause. Inhaling. Pause. Exhaling. So gently. Pause. Quietness. And now let go. Just like we stretch the body, this technique stretches our breath. It's moving the breath in its range of motion, like joints. This breathing is also called square breathing. In yoga, we call it samavritti, equal movement, equal ratio breathing. Remember, whether you followed with me throughout or didn't, it doesn't matter. With practice, we discipline the mind. It's like training a puppy. Requires patience and love. So don't beat yourself up. It's wrong, like beating a puppy. Ouch. I thank you. May you find peace within.